Yeah, yeah.
I was dying to laugh at that.
Oh.
Much more professional intro.
Well, I was just saying before that we needed, like a proper like American kind of dun 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 dun, like when the news starts.
It needs to be impactful, and I think we've nailed that.
Like CNN.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But if this was like on TV, it'd be like a montage of the three of us, and we'd be all like in suits, like shouting across like big conference tables, or like all laughing and putting our arm round someone less fortunate, or you know how these things go. But I digress. Let's carry on. So, welcome to Throwing Digital Sheep's podcast, Talking Digital Sheep, episode number 11.
12.
I think it's 11.
It's 11.
I say 12 every week, so eventually I'm going to be right. I'm looking
Next
forward
week
to that week.
right.
A broken clock's right twice a day, that kind of thing. So, yeah, next week you'll be right. Well, it'd make a change you being right about something, wouldn't it? So, this time of year, what we tend to do is discuss the rumours for E3. We did it in sort of article form, but now we're going to do a podcast version of it. So this is going to be more about not necessarily what will be announced, but what we might think might be announced, or what we want to be announced, no matter how far-fetched it is, to an extent. So we'll give a quick rundown of the news at the minute. So James, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, can do.
Oh, great.
Well, it's kind of news, but it's also a rumour that Resident Evil's going to be getting its next big game soon. Rumour has it that it's going to be the Resident Evil 7, so
Yeah,
we've got that too.
Well,
look forward to it.
They've always said that the rumour I heard was that they are releasing 3 games, and one is going to be sort of like a tactical shooter, and then the other 2 games were based on how many units they'd ship, and there was like a 2 million unit shipped one and a 4 million unit, so they reckon that the 4 million one will be Resident Evil 7, and the 2 million might be a remake of Resident Evil 2, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And
Yeah.
That's about it. And
and also on PlayStation, we're getting an unveiling of Gran Turismo Sport, I think it's called, this month. So stay tuned for that. There's a new Gran Turismo game.
Generic title.
Gran Turismo Sport. Shut up, Scott. You like
it did
Gran Turismo Fast, super charge.
Oh my god! It did take him long, didn't it? 10 reasons why I've never played Gran Turismo and therefore don't like it. It's God to you.
I know. I've played a lot of Gran Turismo games. I was mainly spurned when my dad had a PlayStation 3 and we bought Gran Turismo 5, I think it was. But we were informed that the Gran Turismo we had bought was not the full game. It was kind of like, Metal Gear had made Ground Zeroes before the Phantom Pain came out.
That, yeah.
So, when we bought Gran Turismo, I can't remember what it's called. I want to say Prototype or something. When we bought Gran Turismo, we didn't realise that we hadn't bought a full game, but we'd paid 40 quid for it. And then I think Gran Turismo took like 2 years after that came out to come out. So ever since then, Gran Turismo lost its place on the pedestal for me.
to Forza, as you would say.
To Forza, yes, James. I'm glad you're the one admitting that.
Well, I don't really play racing games apart from Crash Team Racing, but which was the best racing game ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gran Turismo Sport's getting announced. So if you like racing games, then I guess that one's for you.
Yeah. Do you know when I said, like, before we started recording the podcast, that we'd spent like 45 minutes talking about absolutely nothing, and then we're going to start this podcast and just be like, so yeah, this is games coming.
that stuff.
This is games coming out, and this is going on YouTube for everybody to listen to, and sure hope there's not a lot
Uncharted looks good.
Yeah, yeah, Uncharted looks good. What's everybody playing at the minute?
I'm playing part 3 of The Walking Dead Michonne. I'm looking forward to the finale. It's only a 3-parter, which is weird, but It's weird because I'm also playing the Minecraft story mode, but I think I said before where out of nowhere they just decided they were going to make 3 more episodes without really announcing it. So usually it's a 5-episode series, but I went on there recently to download the latest episode and noticed they've updated it to 8 episodes. So, I'm hoping that Michonne is going to I'm going to play this final episode, and I'm hoping they might do something similar because I've enjoyed being back in that Walking Dead world and, having fun with it as well.
Cool. James, anything worth mentioning or?
Yeah, I've got a couple of games on the go because I've just been really busy, not had a chance to complete anything yet. I've still got Dark Souls 3 on the go. We just got to the Duke's Archives in that game, and defeated one of the game's hardest bosses ever, which was super annoying.
Yeah, the old King of the Storm. So,
yeah.
are any of you interested? Do you think any of you will be getting Doom at all?
I'm of that generation where I was too young to have played it or kind of been in its scope of influence, so I've never played a Doom game or watched the film. So
I've also never played one.
Well, first off, don't watch the film. But second, well, the thing was with Doom was one of the original sort of first-person shooters that really put that kind of game on the map. But on the original Xbox, when Doom 3 came out, Doom 3 was just one of the greatest games you'll ever play in terms of first-person shooters, because you're basically playing as a character who, if you were playing as someone who was sort of human, well, he is human, but had this sort of personality and he actually fears things, then you class Doom as a horror game. But you're playing as a nameless Marine who just doesn't give a shit about what he's doing. All he knows is just to kill everything, and that's really evident in this new Doom game, which is absolutely brilliant. I think as a Doom fan, it is everything you'd want from a Doom game in the sense that it's ultra violent, it's really violent, and it's mega violent. No, but I mean, it's the same kind of thing. It's set on Mars, and you're shooting all these demons, and then eventually you're going to go to hell. But you're just playing as this like no nonsense guy who's just kicking 7 shades out of everything that comes near, and but it's also got that quite arcadey feel that the old games had. Very very smooth movement, and yeah, I'd definitely recommend it. We are reviewing it at the moment. The review will be up at the start of the week. So we'll move on to E3 then, because we know that this is probably going to take up a large chunk of our time. So should we start with? Let's start with wishlist first, because
I was going to say, should we split it into crazy wish list, then realistic things we'd like to see, and then maybe games that we know are announced but we're excited to see further gameplay of, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
I can only think of maybe 3 games that whether they're actually crazy or not, I don't really know which category they'd fall into, but I mean, well, anyway, we'll wing it. We'll do it. Well, let's just do it like that anyway. So, Scott, let's start with you. What would you like to see? I know what you're going to say anyway, but I know what you're going to start.
I know there's one that you're going to say, so I'll make sure I don't pinch that one. Obviously, as we talk about I talk about constantly, Crash Bandicoot. The amount of times Sony have, I think we're up to like the 6th tease of Crash Bandicoot in any capacity, because spoilers for Uncharted 4 Easter eggs. There is a Crash Bandicoot Easter egg in Uncharted, and how heavily they're dropping these. It's not just like little drops here and there. It's Sony are actively making Crash Bandicoot references, and it's getting me really excited, and I would love to see a first 3 and the first Crash Kart racing game remastered, and then if there's a promise of Crash then continuing as a franchise again, I would invest in the dark side of consoles. I would if Sony walk out and they announce a Crash game, I'm gonna freak out. You know, It could, because of how much they're teasing it, and as well, this year's his 20th anniversary. So if it's not this year, or even if we don't get any more teases for a while, I think that's it, because this would be the perfect time. You know, there's a hype there. They've teased it a lot. Yeah. So if it's not there, we've just got to accept he's dead. But I'm holding out. I think he's going to be there.
I'll accept he's dead if Activision roll out Crash of the Titans 2 or whatever.
Don't flipping it. You loved when he controlled monsters. He's controlling even more. Oh, that'd be a nightmare.
And he talks. Oh yeah.
Yeah. He talks in other than gibberish. He talks in fluid sentences now, and he's smartened himself up. He wears proper trousers and shoes that fit right. Yeah, and a tie. Oh my god!
Really? I don't even think I ever played that game. I think the last.
No. We're just saying they're just
I was
going
talking about the
crazy and destroying.
Not the pants thing. I mean the actual like controlling the mutants and that. Is that?
That's legitimate. Yeah, it's not a Crash game. It's just Crash going through levels. Yeah, Mind of a Mutant, then Crash of the Titans, where he just. It's like he does his normal levels, except it's littered with creatures, and then he learns a new power to control a certain creature. So it's basically a Crash game where he's permanently on the back of an unnamed monster that you do not care about. Right. Kind of like if there was a new Sonic game, because I know that'd be close to your heart, Jack, where it was a new Sonic game, but he was just stuck on the back of a frog or something, and you play as the frog, and you're like, what is this? I don't like this.
Not a Crash game.
No.
Yeah, but anyway, so obviously Crash would be excited for. I've had a thought as well. LA Noire. I'd love to see LA Noire 2 just because of how much I played that game. But obviously Rockstar will be busy with Red Dead Redemption 2, which is 110% confirmed.
Yeah.
Yep, so I'll be excited for that. You heard it first. Then other games, another game that's close to Jack and James's heart, Alan Wake. Love to see a teaser for that.
I'm sorry,
love to see a teaser for that.
I need to tell James where is that I actually played it last weekend for the first time, and I did not enjoy it at all.
Wait.
I did go on Jack's profile on his Xbox and saw his game time was like 30 minutes or something stupid.
Because
so
we were bored stiff.
I'm not counting that.
We were like, this is like Silent Hill, but naff. So
you didn't start it. Can I have what? I have one more. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Just drop one
ahead.
more.
Drop them all.
Portal 3. That's another of my.
I would like to see Portal 3.
That'd be cool.
Because if Valve were going to make a third game in any of their series, it would probably be Half-Life. But second to that, I think I'd prefer Portal because I despise Half-Life. But a Portal 3 would. I see no words. That's how that game was flawless. So funny. So it encapsulates everything that's right with a game. Like it doesn't have to be a first-person shooter. There's no shooting. You just solve puzzles. But it's consistently hilarious. And the co-op was one of the best co-op experiences.
I didn't have Stephen Merchant too.
Yeah, Stephen Merchant was in the single player. Yeah, so you had him, and then you had GLaDOS as well, which is the main computer woman. But even she's really funny because she's really sarcastic. The whole game, yeah. I think Jack, we said we'd play when it became backwards compatible, didn't we?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a good game. But yeah, so I'll pass the baton to everyone else now, as soon as I've taken 15 minutes.
We'll give it. Go on, James. Go ahead. You shoot, dude.
Well, yeah, kind of on the PlayStation side, the wish list for me is like, if they're not going to go and make a new Crash game, then I'd really like to see a new Jak and Daxter. I'm not sure if you've heard too much about those games, but they were some of my favourite games on the PlayStation 2. It's just a really fun platformer. It's very similar to Ratchet and Clank. It's like Naughty Dog's Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, because it was during that time where like every game had to have like, an adventure with a sidekick kind of thing. But no, it's really funny and really clever, and I just really like that game. So I kind of know it's not going to happen though because Naughty Dog are on with The Last of Us 2, so it's it's a wish for me, but yeah, I think with as well as that, I think at E3 we're going to see more. The Last Guardian on PS4. That's been teased for forever. So
unless they're going to do another one where it surfaces in another trailer and then no one sees it for another 7 years. I'd love that. If 2036 we see a full gameplay trailer of The Last Guardian.
Yeah,
maybe.
But to be fair, on the Xbox side of that, I mean, we're getting that with Sea of Thieves.
And Cuphead.
When is Sea of Thieves coming out? I mean, just heard absolutely nothing about it. Same with Cuphead, actually. I'm really looking forward to Cuphead. So I'm hoping...
Yeah, they dropped off the scope of everything, and then they appeared at PAX East or West, I don't know, and they appeared at that and said, in the last year, it was just 10 boss battles. That was the game. And I think that would have been a bit anticlimactic, looking forward to the game, seeing the boss battles and then realising that every boss you've seen so far is basically the game. But they've now added standard side-scrolling levels as well to fill in between the boss battles, and they've added new bosses as well. So it just seems like they've filled it out as more of a game. But so excited for that.
Yeah.
Kind of
on top.
Yeah, go on, James. Sorry, we kind of cut you off there. Carry on.
It's all right. And on top of that, I think that we're going to get to see gameplay from Horizon Zero Dawn. That's from Guerrilla Games, who did Killzone. And that game looks really cool. That's the one with, the robot dinosaurs where you're like in a tribe and you have to hunt the robot dinosaurs. That looks really cool.
Well, is there ever going to be another Killzone game? Or has there been one recently? Or?
The last one was Shadowfall, as a launch title for the PlayStation 4.
Right. So right.
Yeah, I played it because I got it in the bundle with the PS4, and it felt like more of a showcase of what the PS4 could do rather than a game.
One of them.
The story was 4 hours long. The multiplayer was quite decent, but it was more kind of graphical showcase than an actual game. So I think they're done with Killzone.
Wow.
Do you think you'll see? Just to interject, do you think you'll see any No Man's Sky? Because obviously I don't know if it's out this month or just after E3.
June, I think.
Yeah, do you think they'll show a little bit more? Because that is a game that has infamously been shown so much. When I first saw it, I was stoked, even though I wouldn't be able to play it. I was like, this looks incredible, an infinite amount of planets where you can just go and explore and get through the galaxy. And then after the 10th reveal they've done, you kind of then question, is this game going to be flawless, or is it just going to be
I know.
tiresome after 10 minutes?
That has been going on a while. I feel like I've played it myself, and it's not even...
I know,
you've got to wonder
people almost burnt out and they've not even played it.
Yeah, you've got to wonder as well, with this whole infinite planet thing, it'll be down to code, won't it? So it'd be technically there are unlimited amount of planets because you'll go to one planet and the only difference between the previous planet will be the grass is purple instead of blue on this planet. Yeah. So I imagine it'll your first 3 or 4 hours will be every planet is diverse and incredible, and then it'll get to the point where it's this is the same but the fish have 4 legs instead of 3 or something. Kind of like Minecraft, when you go into a Minecraft world, it's all procedurally generated, randomly when you first create that world. So technically every Minecraft world is different, but it still looks the same. So I think that might end up being its downfall. But again, it could come out and be incredible.
It's the same with Elite Dangerous, really, that we've got, because I really enjoy Elite Dangerous, but at the same time, it suffers from the same thing. You can only see so much. I mean, it does start to think, well, I've been here before, and it's no, you're on Nebulon 0.01457, and I'm like, no, mate, this is Nebulon 013458. I was here last week. But yeah, I mean, No Man's Sky, like you say, has been coming for a while, so hopefully we will see.
Well, they have promised that everyone's playthrough is going to be unique. There's no one way to complete the story. Apparently, everyone's going to have different experiences and discover different planets. They've even said though that you will discover planets that nobody else who owns the game will set foot on. So I don't know how they're going to do that. Like you say, it might just be down to code and they've just changed the colour of the grass. But I don't know. you got to be optimistic, I guess.
Is that the game where they've said like the end goal of the game is to get to the center of the universe, and they won't give away what it is?
I'm not sure. I don't
So
know.
I remember hearing that like the whole point of the game is you gradually, eventually get to the center of the universe. Like that's how you complete the game. And I was listening to another podcast before where they talked about it'd be funny if the whole point of it is the center of the universe is just one perfect planet, but whoever gets there first just gives it an awful name. So someone gets there and they're like, this is the Sheepshagger planet.
Yeah.
Oh damn! The rest of the world have got to visit this planet now to complete
Planet
the game.
Tits. Something
Yeah,
I don't think you
Planet
can name
Tits
planets,
with
though.
a Z.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can name planets.
Planet Dank or something like that. Absolutely.
Dunk memes.
Do you have any more, James?
Yeah,
wishlist-wise?
I think we'll get. Oh, I'm optimistic. I think we'll get gameplay of the new God of War coming out with the whole Norse setting it's got going on. Because they've teased that for the 4K, so we might even see some
Neo.
PS5. Yeah, or Neo. Yeah, that's what it's called. Might see some Neo kind of reveal footage. I'm pretty sure we will actually.
I suppose as well. There's rumours that Xbox are kind of doing something as well. So it could go. PlayStation announced the Neo. Everyone's like, "This sucks. I'm not paying $500 for a box." And then they watch a trailer of it in 4K and go, "Right, I'm sold on it." And then Xbox goes the other way, like, "We don't need 4K. We're just going to do this." And then everyone comes out of PlayStation like, "4K is incredible. What have Xbox got?" And Xbox are like, "Yeah, we didn't want that. We've got a Slim." But then it could go the other way, like everyone's like, "I'm not paying £700 for a 4K one," and then Xbox is like, "The Slim is £200. It's quieter, it's faster, bigger hard drive." So it could. It's not going to change the console war because of the gap between the sales, but I mean, it could shake things up if either company could either balls it up or nail it.
I just think 4K at the minute is quite risky because obviously you'll have some people that want to play in 4K and they'll get the Neo and that, but the rest of the gamers, they're not going to buy an entire new like entertainment system just for one console, you know, just for an updated version of a console.
Plus you need the TV as well, don't you?
That's what I mean, like you need everything to make it work. So, and I'm pretty sure as well we're going to see some PlayStation VR games on display. I would be very surprised if they didn't bring out the VR.
Yeah.
And Kojima as well, he's announced that he's working on a PlayStation exclusive, so we might see an appearance from Kojima, which would be cool. I think that'd be cool.
I believe he said there's a clue inside his company logo, you know, like the skull inside, like the iron helmet that kind of looks futuristic and old-fashioned. Yeah. He said there's a clue as to what the game is. So
apparently it's not just a skull, there's a body there, so it's a really cryptic logo anyway.
So now we're just over around 23 minutes into an E3 wishlist podcast, and not one of you has mentioned Battletoads, and I mean,
well, now it's your turn.
Likes it.
Wow. I mean, let's not go down the Scott route of judging games they haven't played. But I think we've said about Battletoads before that they've dropped so many hints, but it's the same with Crash, where they are dropping so many hints that there'll be a new game. But in terms of Battletoads, all it's really been is sort of last year it was like, come on, there's going to be a Battletoads game, and then it turned out that they were releasing Rare Replay, which had a couple of Battletoads games on it, and then it sort of carried on, and then they announced that, and before that, Battletoads were in Shovel Knight, and then one of the Battletoads was going to be in Killer Instinct, and it's like, can we just...
What is Battletoads, Jack? Just for people who don't know, like me.
Battletoads is kind of like... It's like a side scroll. It's kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it's 3 toads.
It's toads instead of turtles.
Pretty much, yeah. It was like a side-scrolling beat 'em up arcade game, but it was known for being notoriously difficult. Like, it was one of the most difficult games around at the time. There's a particular level that is just absolutely impossible. But I mean, for me personally, that's the kind of thing that I like really, really, really difficult games, like, you know, Dark Souls, Ninja Gaiden, Battletoads. So there's that I've got a hope. So I mean, I probably should stop tweeting Phil Spencer every week asking for a Battletoads game, because surprisingly enough, he never replies. But I can message him on Xbox now because I've got his gamer tag. Hi Phil. So,
Shout out to Phil,
yeah,
avid listener.
I'll send you the link to this and some other stuff. So not only that, but I know Scott, you'll want this as well. But a Sunset Overdrive 2 is something that's it's something I wish for. But the thing is that I recently purchased the season pass because it was on sale, and as much as I thought it was a great season pass and it was funny, it was very short. I would have been disappointed if I'd paid full price for it, I'm not going to lie. But the reason I really want to see a Sunset Overdrive 2 is because I think that there's things that they could improve on, like the weapons, as you know, Scott, the weapons on it are great, but the actual shooting mechanics are terrible. Like, you got just got constant clusters of enemies, and I always found, like, shooting and aiming, you know, you've got these great guns like the AKFU and the TN Teddy.
AKF off.
The AKF off now with the DLC. And you've got the TN Teddy where you shoot the teddies that blow up, or
that was awesome. So good.
You could, or the bowling ball gun. And there's just so many good guns, but I just feel like the free aim on it and the feeling's quite kind of stiff, and which is kind of ironic for the kind of game it is. It's just a total free running game.
Yeah, I suppose that's kind of good that the ammo didn't really, like, you got I used to have one gun that would always run out of bullets, but say if you're sliding around on the rails or like hanging off of stuff, because you're constantly on the move, it kind of works that you don't hit all the bullets, because if you were stood still and you were missing bullets left, right and centre, you die all the time because you're constantly traversing and moving. I kind of just expected a lot of bullets to miss. But then you get guns, like you said, like the TN Teddy, where you don't really need to aim as much. You can just get it in the general direction and hit it. Or as well, there was an upgrade where you could get a lightsaber as your melee weapon. So the moment I got that, I was like, I don't need a gun ever again. I'm just using this.
I mean, even the playing guns, like you had the handgun that was called the Dirty Harry, and then you could you could get an upgrade for it called Winter is Coming, where you just freeze people, and then you pull out like the AKFU, and you just sort of like it does work really well. But when I was playing it, I thought it'd be nice to see this again, but just a bit better. Well, as sequels tend to do. But anyway, that's definitely there.
They left a really ambiguous ending as well, didn't they? So there was nods to, I think you could look through a looking glass or something, and the guy would say a general comment, and then there was one where you'd look at the mountains and he'd be like, "Huh, it says that's where the sequel's going to be. Oh wait, well, maybe we should see on sales first." Like, he actively says something like that, and obviously the ending means, like, the way it ended. There, you know, it's one of those endings where there could be a sequel. It could just be like, that's what happened. Oh no, goodbye, Sunset. But I'd love there to be another game. I think they nailed it, really. It slipped under the radar as well, because I remember the adverts were really well marketed because I thought they were quite funny at the time, but the gameplay just didn't look very good.
Yeah, to me, the game looks like kind of an advert for Fanta. Like, I don't know why I get that.
Yeah, because the Fanta adverts were literally the same, weren't they? Where
that's what on a
skateboard would like bounce off the walls and stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, the gameplay didn't look the best, but the moment you play it, it's phenomenal. So addictive.
It really is.
It's one of those games you just have to play. Like, you can't describe it to someone other than just go play this game. You will love it.
What's great about it is that because of the whole free running thing and the fluidity of your movement, is that it makes you feel like you're really good at it. Like, you're only pressing a few buttons, but you know when you're jumping up a wall and then you bounce off something to flip onto a grind rail, you're just like, this is just such a badass game. And then you've got
to make you feel badass, even though you're just doing the
with
standard.
the music as well, and the satire, and
the whole fourth wall breaking. I mean, Scott, I was telling you the other week about the DLC. But this was kind of like the clincher for me. There is a moment where the character you play as, you're actually inside your own Xbox, and you have to sort of like do. I won't spoil it for you because I know you're going to play it, but stuff like that is just absolutely brilliant. In terms of other wish lists, I mean, those were the only
Sounds
two
like
I could
a game
really.
I'd enjoy.
You'd love it. In terms of other games on the wish list, I mean, I don't know what we'd see from a Sonic game at E3. I mean, the thing is with Sonic is that with it being the anniversary this year, is they had an announcement a couple of months ago, and they had this like whole conference thing, and it was like, oh, there's going to be a Sonic announcement tonight, ooh, and it was like, there will be an announcement in July, and it was like, oh, right, oh, so you did this whole thing to tell us that there'll be an announcement in 6 months. It's kind of like the Final Fantasy 15. Yeah,
Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
Here's an announcement for an announcement for an announcement.
I mean, how we did so much coverage on that as well. It was like, so we're announcing the announcement of the announcement on the announcement, and it'll be about an announcement, and it was like, oh, come on, guys, enough. But the thing is, as well, with the thing is with wishlist is that as much as you want a game to be announced, you crash obviously. You're just thinking it has to be realistic as well. Well, at least I do, and I'm thinking I'd love to see Manhunt 3, but that would be Rockstar, and I'm thinking
Rockstar
that's that
Rockstar one that's horrifically graphic, isn't it?
Exactly, and so it's kind of like
time.
Well, it's the same with it's the same about I'd like to see a new Max Payne game, but then you think,
oh yes,
are Rockstar gonna do that at the same time as because right? Let's be honest, they're doing the new Red Dead. They are, and it's gonna be announced at E3.
I just think people just love their games, so everyone's like, can we have a sequel to every game that you've put out?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's just something. So, well, on the topic of Red Dead, do we have any? Not wish lists, but is there any predictions, like realistic predictions that we've got that you think will be announced at E3 in June?
What have I noted down here? I've noted down another ridiculous one, The Saboteur. Just a little nod to anyone who has played that game. Phenomenal game. We will never get a sequel though, unfortunately. So there's everyone's hearts broken. South Park, obviously that's already been announced. So I think we're just going to get. Yeah, I think we're going to get a little bit more gameplay, maybe another trailer or something. So I'm looking forward to that. Mafia 3, I'm looking forward to seeing more of. Dishonored 2. I think Bethesda hinted that we'll see some actual gameplay. The game I noted down, I think The Evil Within. I think we will see an Evil Within 2 trailer or something, because The Evil Within was 2014, I think, where it's very Resident Evil-esque. And the DLC was very, again, ambiguous with the ending, so, you know, even if you played the DLC, you still didn't get a full ending to the story, so I think we could see that being revived. I think at least a trailer or something. Because I really enjoyed it. Actually, it wasn't a bad game. It got a bit tedious towards the end, but so I think we'll see something. Yes, that was a big problem with it.
Not a lot of ammunition at all.
Oh wow, a box. Oh good, I'll use these 2 crossbow bolts on the next 6 guys that appear.
Yeah, that